Pisces, how are you? Welcome to your energy update. I am so glad to be back, Pisces. So, Pisces, let us see what is happening with you. Clear messages for my Pisces friends. What is happening with Pisces? What does Pisces need to know? What does Pisces need to know? Spirit, what does Pisces need to know? Pisces, you could be going through a time of honing your self-mastery, right? There could be some things that could be arising during this retrograde period that can feel challenging or feel like maybe aspects of yourself you're letting go. But it's really, you know, honing your self-mastery, your discipline during this time, because you're seeing it objectively, right? The first thing that needs to be done is to observe yourself objectively, right? Once you see from an objective view the patterns that you're playing out again and again. Wow, just popped out 10 of Cups. And, you know, this process is what is going to lead you to your happiness. But let's see what's happening with Pisces right now. What is happening with Pisces? What is happening with Pisces? What do my Pisces friends need to know? What energy, what up and coming energy for my Pisces friends from now until mid-June? Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Clear messages for my Pisces friends. Clear messages. Clear messages for my Pisces friends. Clear messages for my Pisces friends. The Fool and the Two of Pentacles popped out. Okay, so I feel like there's a new path, there's a new way. There's a leap of faith that could be had, but it's a little bit being unorganized or overwhelmed about it, not really prioritizing what's important or juggling things well. You know, so maybe you need to handle things better, right? Maybe the feeling of overwhelmness is kind of throwing you off balance, but it's only right, you know, when something is challenging, it's shedding light on where we need to grow, where we need to assess, maybe where we need to change something, our perspective about it. So let's see. 2 minutes and no cards yet. No. Let us see for Pisces. Okay, at the bottom of the deck, Four of Pentacles in the reverse. So I feel here that someone could be a little possessive, maybe controlling in a situation, right? Trying to control the situation here. This is, it could also be a release, but at the bottom of that, we have the Two of Wands in the reverse. So I feel here because someone's not making decisions in their life, maybe how they should, right? One of the abundance cards that came out in the last reading here, it says that if you don't take the action, the divinely guided action you know you're supposed to take, it will feel like anxiety, right? So you not planning with the Two of Wands in the reverse, not making decisions, or someone around you, almost makes you want to control your environment even more, right? Because it's that thing, right? When you really don't have control over your inner, you want to control the outer. So about that, Pisces. So in the base of your reading, we have the Knight of Cups in the reverse. Okay, this is moodiness. It's a little bit of disappointment here. And what's helping or hindering you is the Ten of Wands. So I feel here that it's a process, right? I'm thinking of the Alchemy card. Through this disappointment or this moodiness or, you know, this emotional withdrawal type of time, okay, you are really releasing. Okay, it's helping you to release these burdens, to really sit with them. Again, that's retrograde. It seemingly gets slower, so we can sit with the things and kind of make sense with them, right, and move on from them. Because if certain things are coming up for you, right, if you're just, you know, hanging out and certain thoughts are coming up for you from the past, right, and you're like, why did I even think about this? It's something that's coming up for a reason. You need to make amends with it so then you can move on from it, right? And as you do that, you recover fragments of yourself to become more whole, of pieces of you, right, that you gave away your energy or that weren't working, right? So make peace with it. You could be having a little bit of disappointment, but it's towards releasing. Your conscious mind, Seven of Swords. So I feel here like maybe you're thinking of someone possibly being deceptive, or Maybe you're being self-deceptive. I don't know. Let's see here. But your conscious mind, that's what you're thinking, right? You're maybe thinking that someone is withholding, someone is being sneaky, something of the sort here is happening. What is the Seven of Swords? What is the Seven of Swords? Maybe someone has gotten quiet, right? You're like, what are they up to? Empress in the reverse, and this was in the deck earlier in the pre-shuffle. So there's a lack of growth, right? So, you know, because something isn't growing here, isn't blossoming, you think that maybe someone is out, you know, being sneaky, right? You know, them being sneaky and deceptive could be what's keeping things at odds. This Two of Pentacles again. Four of Wands and the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So I feel here, Pisces, that there's a situation here, right? It could be a family dynamic, could be a home dynamic here. But I feel that there's a situation that's unstable, right? Where it's like no longer growing. It's a little bit stagnant and you know, the connection here is a lot of noisiness right now here in our minds and whatnot. And, you know, people could be retracting, getting quiet again. We could be assuming that people are being deceptive, or maybe people are being deceptive with their emotions by not expressing. You know, however, I feel here that maybe this is what's making you a little bit overwhelmed. You know, this lack of stability, this, you know, it's making you feel disorganized. You want ease and comfort, right? And just tranquility in the situation. Right now the situation just feels tense. There's someone here that's being deceptive, that you know, you're not having the celebration that you wanted in the situation, or the growth. In your unconscious mind, the Five of Wands. So there's some sort of conflict or competition. Again, this would be, you know, goes hand in hand. Why is this Five of Wands in Pisces' unconscious mind? What is this conflict? Who is this conflict that Pisces is feels with? King of Wands. Yeah, so you feel like maybe a King of Wands, a fire sign, doesn't necessarily have to be someone very charismatic, good looking, you know, that just they could be, Pisces, you feel maybe they've retracted, they're getting quiet, they're not communicating. Judgment in the reverse. Maybe they have doubt. There's a lack of reconciliation here, right? There's a lack of a, you know, if this is in your unconscious mind, Pisces, you know, it makes me feel here that a part of you maybe subconsciously knows that this is not, this situation with this King of Wands always leaves you at odds, right? I mean, it just leaves you doubtful. It just leaves you drained. It leaves you unenlightened. I mean, it just takes from you. But also, I feel like you just have the situation very presently. I want to see, what is this Judgment in the reverse? What is this Judgment in the reverse? What is this Judgment in the reverse? Five of Swords in the reverse. Five of Swords in the reverse. Judgment clarified by the Five of Swords in the reverse. So I feel here like someone has regret or remorse, or kind of thinking things over. What is this King of Wands? The Devil. Yeah. So I feel here that there's conflict in this connection, right? But I feel like if it is a love connection, or it doesn't necessarily have to be, just could be someone in your family, friend, but this person is kind of not toxic, but they have toxic things about them, right? No one is completely ever fully toxic. It's just our habits that lead us to, you know, kind of selling out and giving into fear and temptation and whatnot. But yeah, this person kind of just always leaves the situation in some sort of conflict. And I feel like subconsciously you know that they're like, you're kind of playing with the devil here, okay? And I feel here like maybe a part of you also internally is coming to a new understanding, right? Kind of dabbling with the situation that maybe this is just not meant to be in some sense, right? I mean, you just kind of have that inner conflict. But I feel here that there's also subconsciously you have a lot of like sexual attraction to this person, if it is, you know, but maybe you feel that that's, you know, you have a lot of doubt, right? Thinking that that's all it is, right? Maybe I feel here that this conflict and maybe you seeing it is making you reconsider the situation. Anyhow, in the past, we have the Four of Cups. So there was some dissatisfaction, right? You almost manifested that situation. You being bored and dissatisfied with the situation created this upheaval, okay, inside of you because you were holding it in. You were just, you were just dissatisfied. Maybe you weren't doing anything about it. You were in contemplation. But now it's come up, boiled up to be released. Your next move, 10 of Pentacles. Stability, long term. That's wealth. That's building something here. It's my tea. 10 of Pentacles. Why is this 10 of Pentacles here for Pisces? Next move. 10 of Pentacles for Pisces. Next move. 10 of Pentacles for Pisces. Next move. Okay. So, the two cards that came out, well, I'm not like wild about. Because we have the Magician in the reverse, and then the Seven of Wands in the reverse. And the Magician kind of fell on top of the Knight of Cups. So I feel here because of this emotional disappointment, this moodiness, that's kind of like on the lower spiral of the emotions, right? And the lower spiral means your energy is denser, you can't really manifest. So I feel here like maybe you feel like you are just don't have all the resources, you don't have all the tools, you feel powerless maybe in the situation, you feel like you've given up on something here, okay? Low confidence, but these are two completely different energies. So it's like maybe, this is insight, this is almost here, this 10 of Pentacles is long term, this wealth building, but you kind of have a little bit of an attitude towards it that you just can't get there, right? Right now, your energy's a little drained low, how we're going to see here. But there's this new beginning right around the corner. Let's see here. What is this 10 of Pentacles? Right? What is this 10 of Pentacles? What is this 10 of Pentacles? The Hangman in the reverse. So this, sorry about that. So, yeah, what is this 10 of Pentacles? What is this 10 of Pentacles? 10 of Pentacles. Page of Cups in the reverse and the 10 of Cups. So I feel that maybe this disappointment in some sense, it's interesting here because I almost feel like this is like something that you have to go through, right? Obviously everything that we go through is lessons to help us evolve to get to where we need to go ultimately. But I feel here that there is this disappointment right now, right? And the Hangman did come out up in the reverse. So it's like you're going to come out of this energy of feeling like, you can't manifest something or kind of the confidence being low. And you are going to go towards your emotional fulfillment here, okay? And this is not telling me here. This is intuitive because what this is saying, what the cards are actually saying is that there is very much a 10 of Pentacles and a 10 of Cups possible. However, there's going to be a situation where we're going to have to fix our attitude or disappointment, right? There could be just a little emotional maturity. And emotional maturity, what can that speak to, right? Maybe giving up too soon. Maybe sometimes when we want something, we go and then as soon as there's some sort of speed bump and whatnot, then, we give up. So emotional maturity could be seeing things through and to the point of actually manifestation, right? It's understanding how things work. It needs much more attention and energy than we think it does to manifest something. Depending, So, and that was actually an odd statement because, we don't, I don't have to attach that perception to anything, that anything is difficult, right? That's actually one of the things I'm learning to undo, is thinking that work has to be burdensome or a lot or chaotic and whatnot for it to be fruitful, right? You can change that perspective. You can change that programming and subconsciously actually believe I work, money easily comes to me. So that's an affirmation that you can tell yourself, right? To be able to change that subconscious programming, that work doesn't have to be difficult. You can receive money without slaving for it, okay? But anyhow, I'm seeing here that a perspective shift has to be made. Okay, Pisces, how you see yourself is Ace of Cups in the reverse. Yes, you see yourself a little emotionally drained right now, okay? In your environment, the Fool, which the Two of Pentacles is here in the reverse that popped out in the beginning, and the Fool. Okay, so there is literally a new beginning right around the corner, I feel here. But you know how we get tested the most right before we're about to get something? You know, the universe kind of brings these lessons back up, and we're finishing up cycles, you know, like decade-long cycles, and this is retrograde season, but there's a new beginning right around the corner. This is the last little bit, you know, the universe is asking you, have you learned the lessons that we gave you before, right? So let's see here. Let's get a new deck and see. What is this Fool? What is this Fool? What is this new beginning in Pisces environment? Could literally be an Aries. Oh! Yeah. I said that. Aries. Doesn't necessarily have to be. Just there's a new beginning right around the corner. What is this Fool? The Hangman in the reverse again. And the Eight of Cups. So I feel that there's a new beginning, but there's an energy of resistance, right? From you, Pisces, you know, this could be your energy, what's lingering around you, and this could be an external person. So an external person is also with the Eight of Cups in the reverse. There's some sense of avoidance, right? There's like you've got the perspective you needed, and now it's almost like you're waiting, right? It's almost to the point of inaction, still not taking action, but there's this new beginning right around the corner here that's happening. It's just this process, right? Where are we from now until the mid-June? So I feel like people are in this purging. So, hopes and fears, Seven of Cups. So there's a lot of options, but maybe you fear being confused and not being able to assess or pick the right one. Nine of Cups, you're hoping to be happy. You're hoping for your emotional satisfaction. To be emotionally fulfilled, to be joyous. And the outcome, the Moon, your energy. Okay, this could speak to, you know, a little bit of instability as well, right? Like these moon phases kind of like take us for a loop, right? Sometimes. But yeah. Could speak to mystery, sensuality here. Let's see. What is this Moon here for Pisces outcome? The Fool again. Okay. Okay, Pisces. And the Three of Swords. Wow, so I feel here that it's like literally a process of merging, of mending, in a sense, right? I feel here like you are in this, like, again, you know, this fuzziness is trying to figure out, this trying to get in touch with your intuition, but there's some hurt, there's some pain, or there's like an ending and a new beginning. What is this Three of Swords? What is this Three of Swords? What is this Three of Swords? Justice in the reverse. So maybe there has to be an undoing of something, an undoing of a situation, divorce, right? A legal situation that has to take something involved. Something wasn't fair that kind of broke your heart, or, you know, made you feel this emotional loss. Some sort of imbalance here, you know. Maybe there was a little bit of unaccountability in some sense. But anyhow, the Fool. What is this Fool? Second time the Fool, and we've actually seen it 3 times. What is the Fool in the upright here? Fool in the upright. What is the Fool? The Lovers. Ah, this is so interesting. The Lovers. Could be dealing with a Gemini here. That doesn't necessarily have to be. You did get the Fool in the reverse here. You know, maybe you are dealing with someone, right, or a Gemini that wants a family or a long-term situation here with you. But someone is disappointed, right? You know, because something here is not panning out. We also have the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. New beginnings. Lovers. Ace of Pentacles. Well, there's a new beginning here. Trust me, this is not over. Five of Swords in the reverse. And the Four of Pentacles. Ooh. So what this is telling me here is that someone wants to stop self-sabotaging the situation. Someone has some remorse or some regret, or, you know, they feel badly about the way things maybe ended before. Okay, and they don't want to let this go. So from this heartbreak, Pisces, from this loss, from this, you know, thing that was not in your favor, that hurt you, that was imbalanced before, right? I feel like you are performing alchemy. This is a process of using your emotions and transmuting them, right, into something beautiful, into a new beginning, right? You have birthed this almost new beginning. You manifested it because you've nurtured it with your emotions, your energy. I mean, you again, transformed it. Ace of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Fool, okay? New beginning, absolutely new beginning, just lovely energy here. And someone doesn't want to let this go, okay? You know, someone wants to definitely rethink the way they did things before. So this is like a beautiful process, right? Because I feel here like you've just lost faith in a situation with someone, right? And like you've gotten to the point of just releasing it. And I feel like that's almost what it took, right? That's to the point of the alchemy, that you've reached its point now, that you're able to get what you manifested, because you reached that point of actually releasing, right? Even though you see yourself as just drained from this, right? And that's where the self-care is gonna come in for you, Pisces, because, oh, the other card that popped out that we didn't even look at, because the rest of them are fantastic, but this one is not. So Ace of Swords in the reverse. And what I was gonna say with is this is a point of self-care, and it's funny that I became aware of this card when I started talking about that. Self-care is gonna be important, because if you are not balanced, if you're not nurturing or taking care of yourself because you're so drained from this process of alchemy, yes, you know, you got to learn how to restore yourself also soon, you know, and sooner. You won't be able to take opportunity of this new beginning, because, you know, you're not going to be seeing things clearly if you're so drained, right? So you are performing the process of alchemy, but this is what's telling us, right? You can't stay in this hangman energy. You can't stay in this hangman. You've gotten the perspective you needed. You have to recoup and get yourself ready to go, right? You know, it isn't rushing yourself, but not stay in inaction or not stay unbalanced. You know, you have to, there's this new thing that's coming. So let's get a little bit more into this new. What is this new thing? What is this new thing? What is this fool energy, this new? What is this new energy here? Ace of Pentacles, Fool, Lovers. We have two. Victory and hostilities. It's interesting because that's what it feels like, the difference between the two, right? The Three of Swords here, and then we had the Fool. So that's what it feels like. It's almost like victory and then hostilities on the other side. So I feel like it's almost, you could be living both at the same time. I mean, this is like the perfect balance, right? You could be feeling a heartbreak in some sense, but then a new beginning in another aspect or area of your life. Again, the release and birth of something new, but you could be dealing with both of that, right? And you have to be able to stay balanced and release it as you release, feel those things, but be ready to take on the new as well, the new. What else can you tell us? What else can you tell us? What else can you tell us? Okay, so we have here the 7th chakra. I feel it's important to use your intuition, Pisces, throughout this whole thing. We have contract, which came out in the reverse here on top of the cards of your conscious mind, right, where we see the 7 of Swords. Maybe you're feeling here, you know, your perspective about something is it's interesting. It's interesting because I also got, if you're dealing with the same person, right? If you're not leaving an old person to go to a new person, but you're dealing with the same person, just moving on to a different chapter of your relationship. Right now, you could see this person, because maybe they're retracting, as you know, deceptive. You could see that maybe they're not wanting to commit, right? They're not wanting to you know, have a union here or balance this situation out. But you also, maybe you're not seeing the full spectrum correct, like fully yet, that there is a new beginning right around the corner, a new chapter with this person, right? So you have to be able to stay balanced and release the old, right? Releasing these old things in order to embrace the new. The world completion. We have cornucopia and woman holding a heart. So I feel, Pisces, that it's important to follow your heart. You know, your heart is your soul, right? And it's interesting because I just read the book, The Alchemist, for a second time. Let me show you guys. The Alchemist, for a second time this weekend. I read it in I started it at night on Saturday and I finished it Sunday morning. And it is really a great book because it reminds us to follow our heart. Like that, your soul knows the treasures. It's going to lead you to victory. You just have to maybe battle these hostilities within yourself, right? These temptations in some way. But Pisces, that's a lot, right? That's a lot. Let's see here. So I kind of made these cards the other day, probably about a week or so. And they're more like a timeline. They have different things on some sayings on them. So let's see what comes out. Oh, and I want to get an abundance card for Pisces. This video is probably longer than it needs to be. We have winter time. Winter time. What's gonna happen in winter time? What's happening in winter time? What is happening in winter time? What is happening in winter time? What is happening in winter time? Patience. It's almost winter time. What is happening in winter time? Moving on. This could be moving forward to a new thing here. The universe, authority, and transformation. Yeah, I feel like there's definitely going to be some transformation here in winter time. You guys are going to have to keep me posted. We're not, you know, that far. Actually, we're, yeah, just 6 months away. So, yeah, winter time, Pisces, authority, universe, patience, moving on. So I feel have patience with yourself. I mean, the retrograde period is about like 5 months here. Pluto will be retrograde. So there is going to be this huge transformation. So have patience with yourself, because in winter time, I feel like you're going to be moving definitely to a very much lighter phase in your life, like more money. You know, this is money falling out of the sky, right? You see how this woman is transitioning from darker times, moving on to some new things. And I feel like, you know, the universe is definitely working its magic. Have patience. And I do feel authority here. I feel like this is definitely, you know, making you more powerful within yourself. There could be some authority person, figure here. Who knows? All right, let's see. Last abundance cards to wrap this up. Ask for your needs to be met. And it's so interesting because, Pisces, we have to remember to vocalize, to ask, right? Specifically what it is that we want. Ask our angels, you know, put that energy into the universe. Vocalize it, all right? Your needs to be met. Donations, teething, and charitable work. Give joyfully to organizations and people. Again, the energy of giving, you know, out is what you will receive, okay? Make sure you keep an abundance mindset, because you know, what you give out, you shall receive. It's just, you know, the energy of the universe. Quiet retreat. It's time to disconnect. It's a time to really get quiet within yourself. Maybe a lot of you have been wanting to do some charity work, or start your own charities or foundations in some sense, or how to give back to people, okay? As you give, you receive. But it's a time to, you know, there's going to be new beginnings, and they are going to be right around the corner. But you're going to need to have patience, okay? You're going to need to have patience. Understand that objectively this retrograde season, Pluto retrograde for 5 months. I mean, that is like the deepest, darkest, you know, planet. And there is going to be a transformation. So just be patient. In winter time, some stuff is really going to surprise you and make you really happy. Okay, Pisces, that's what I have for you now. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. I'm happy to be back. See ya.